Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Banker by Day, Crypto and Gaming by Night. Hope you guys and girls are having an amazing time. And in today's video, it's going to be quite exciting. It's one of the first of a series of videos that I'm going to be making about Townstar, which is a play to earn game. Now, the main purpose of this video is for a complete beginner who hasn't actually played the game to be able to get to grips with the basics of the game and actually build their first town. Now, in this particular case, we're going to be using the wall run and using the plain territory. There are many alternatives in terms of different strategies and different places to actually build out your town. I will go into a little bit of detail in this video about that, but hopefully we can make some future videos and go into each of these different strategies. But for now, let's focus on getting started, building an amazing town, going through it. What you might want to do is actually just put this in the background while you're building your own town. Just before we do get started, I hope you guys can take some time out to actually like this video and hopefully subscribe to the channel. I am going to be posting a lot of videos about play to earn gaming, blockchain, crypto, and anything Gala Games, definitely. So you guys can definitely familiarize yourself with this and hopefully learn a lot more about the space. So when you boot up the game, this is exactly what you should be getting to, this page here. And what you can do is you're able to kind of change servers if you want. So there's different servers with different numbers of players. Competition server, this is basically a weekly competition that starts at the beginning of the month and usually lasts a week. Now there are some awards about this. I'll make another video talking about that. If you guys drop in the comment, that's something you want me to talk about. Now I'm going to go back to the server that I was on, just because I like the spot that I was in. So what you have is you get this globe here. And you kind of just want to pick where you want to be. So any square is going to allow you to set up or place your town here, as you can see at the bottom. Now, I guess the main thing is to be really close to a city center, so a town. So here we have Moscow, we've got Berlin over there, and Istanbul. Paris, got London over here, and the main thing is try and get as close to that. And also just these are basically everybody else's towns. These are people's towns. Now, yeah, the main objective is try and get as close as this as you can. And usually at the start of the month or when the cycle starts, the gaming cycle is usually best to try and get in as quick as possible to try and set up your town. Now, I'm usually around here, but just falling slightly off this month, and I'm going to place my town here. Just before I go into that as well, actually, so we have plains, different type of terrain types, desert, as you can see here. We have forest, which is usually these greener areas, and not too sure, and ice. There we go. So we have 3-4 different terrain types. I usually go with plains. You're going to see why. Let's just call it Banker by Day. As I said, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're going to pick our location. Wow, this is annoying me. Yeah, so this is how all the towns usually start the same. Now, depending on the terrain type, so forest, for example, you're going to have a lot more trees here. There's a few marshes and stuff in the forest. It creates dirt, and I don't really like that. Now this game, there's a lot of detail to this game. It does look a bit basic on the front, but when it comes down to the actual mechanics of the game, it is a very well thought out game. So guys, so the first thing I do, for me, I have a specific way of playing this game. Everyone, is able to slowly over time build their own ways. The person that taught me this game doesn't do their town, or didn't do their town, and didn't teach me in the way that I do it now. So as you learn, as you understand more, you can develop on that one. So first thing I do is I sell the original. Actually, let me go through some of them. Go into some of the mechanics. So the main idea is for you to use your trade depot to to sell things. So depending on what you're selling, it will give you this amount and it will take this long, again, depending on where you've placed your town with regards to the closest city. So in this case, Moscow. and and how much gasoline that's going to cost you to sell it. Now this will give you something called town dollars, or these dollars here, and it will obviously take away from your fuel, which is going to be an important part that we need to go through later on. Now the first part, I guess, is actually trying to make, harvest, or create something that you can sell. So you also have your builder house right here. So you need a builder house for you to be able to go to this icon here and build various different things. This is your fuel storage. This is a wood shed. So this is basically where you store your wood, which is usually quite an important part of creating or making most things. This is a silo. You store certain things that you harvest, like this wheat here. This is a farmhouse, and this is a storehouse where you usually store some of the things that you've made. This is a pond. It gives water to the surrounding areas. So around this much of water will be passively given to that area. And this is a well. So you can see this guy is taking, this farmer is taking the water over to the wheat field where he's going to be watering it. Now, main objective here is obviously to build the best town, which is what I do every single month. Or you want to play to earn. So the way you play to earn is you have a daily challenge, and it asks you, or it requests, the challenge is requesting that you earn a number of stars. Now to get X amount of stars, you have to sell different kind of things. Some things give you more stars and some things give you less stars when you sell them. Now, once you complete that daily and you have your NFTs placed, for example, this broken history trainers, this is an NFT, and this will change the overall amount of rewards that I get, and we'll see that once I get closer to that reward. As I was saying, first thing I do when it comes to my town is I quickly sell the original wheat that was there, which was the first 10 wheat. I then destroy or remove the silo, and I receive 2,500 for that. I then destroy one of these ponds. Now it's usually a sorry, let me just destroy these as well so that farmer can stop working and we can get the $63. So just so you know, sometimes when you destroy things, you actually make money. So this is $313 made. And sometimes it costs you money. For example, to remove this rock, it requires 40,000, which I don't have. So that first trade has gone through, and I've just received the money for it. And you can see that the gasoline has gone down. Now, one of the things I need, this is why I start with plains, guys. I like the balance of no dirt. So as I said, some marshes and stuff. In the other places, it usually has dirt. So and then there's a balance of the number of trees and kind of what stuff you need to cut down. Also, you start with 2 ponds, which I can remove one of them for $2,500 or town bucks. Let's call them town bucks for now, just to make it sound fancy. Now, yeah, what I'll do is actually delete one of these ponds. Now, I don't really know which one to delete. Also, guys, I've spoken to a few people and they had no idea that you can kind of spin this, just so you know. So the same way that you left click and press down to move, if you right click and swivel your mouse, you can actually rotate the town. Which one to delete? Now, I guess one problem with this is there's too much around it that I'm going to need to kind of cut down or delete later. So what I'll do actually is I will delete both of them, because I have water tower NFTs, and that kind of allows me to not really need the pond as much as some of you might need, depending on whether you have an NFT or not. So let me start my townish. So around here. So I guess the first thing I need to do is lay down a dirt road, and just wait for that to build. Now, the reason for the dirt road is usually it requires a lot of the NFTs, or a lot of buildings actually require, most buildings even require a road to be in front of them before you can place them. So in this case, I'm going to place my water towers, and you can do that by, going to this Gala Games icon here, and that's where your skins, your set have, and I just keep it on all for the moment. So we're going to put down the water towers. Why do I keep doing this? Gonna put down the water towers around this dirt road here. Just need to return this one. Bang. And we're gonna build a trowel on either side of the wheat stand. Now, the reason for this is in the beginning, we want to collect the feed, and to collect the feed, we'll need a trowel for them to store it in. And here we have also a feed mill. So what this does essentially is the wheat stand interacts with the feed mill and allows the feed mill to create feed. And we're going to need a ranch worker or a ranch house worker to get that feed basically into the trowel, and then we slowly sell that off. Also, guys, I don't know if you're a Gala Gold member or not, but if you do sign up to be a Gala Gold member, not sure what the price is these days, but you also receive this express depot, and this express depot basically makes the sell time a little bit less. So we have 16 seconds here compared to the normal depot, which is 22 seconds. So it's, I guess, about 35% less. Let's just click this trowel to make it to build it even. And by the way, guys, when I'm doing repetitive things, what I'll be doing through the video is actually time lapse. So just fast forwarding through, but it will still be there, so hopefully you haven't missed anything. So at the moment, we just wait for these to be built. Now while that happens, just want to also let you guys know what some of the other things here are. So now, if you did have water and river on the sides, you can build a different kind of depot, a pier, and that allows you to sell items in 100 at a time. Whereas over here in the normal depot or the express depot, you need 10 items each time to load the truck, and that's a minimum of 10. So you can't have, I don't know, 6 in your inventory or 7 like we have here for the wood, and expect to sell that. While waiting for that, what I'm going to need to build shortly, let's just put a road down. What I'm going to need to build shortly is going to be the lumberjack house. So you go down to farm, and we are looking for a lumberjack house. Always make sure to actually click the road to make sure it's built before you go into building, which is a mistake I just made there. And here we go, lumberjack house. So a few other basic stuff that I think you guys should definitely know about. So this is your money. This is Town Coin. It's coming soon. There are some updates about that. Again, moving forward, I will keep you guys updated with all the different stuff going on in town and Gala Games. And this here is your dollar cost per minute. So if you look at, for example, this lumberjack house, the cost of this is $30 per minute. And then it's going to be the same for the ranch house and the builder house, and also your depot and express depot. And every time you build, that number is going to go up if you're building something that usually requires some sort of labor or cost associated. Now, this is your gasoline and this is your wood. So all your inventory is basically going to show up on the kind of the left hand here. This over here is the number of days left for this cycle. And if you click this star here, this area here, you can see the leaderboard. I'm currently ranked 4977 because I've been gliding through without actually building my town properly. And you can also see the top 10 and the bottom 10 on that list. And this here is how many stars you've earned. So I sold the 10 wheat in the beginning, if you recall, and that earned me 10 stars. This has been built. This has been built. We just need to complete building this. When you click a building, if there's a worker associated with that building, you're going to see a red icon hover above them, and that's the case here. So what she's doing right now is she's taking the feed, which is here from the feed mill. So this is giving passive wheat over here, and that is creating feed in the feed mill. And this farmer here, let's get the icon above our head. So this farmer here is basically taking that feed and releasing it into the trough. Now, usually what happens is I would have sheep pen in and out of here, and the sheep would be eating the trough. However, in this case, for the startup, we just sell the feed as it comes. We've only got 3 in there at the moment. So hopefully when that hits that 10, remember that 10 minimum that we talked about, then we sell that directly. The thing I'm going to do down here is remove some of this scrub, just because this is usually where I lay out my tree farm, which you're going to hear and find out more about. That you turn on auto sell, you customize it, you add what it is you want to auto sell, and if you want to keep a certain amount, then you keep a certain amount, but at the moment it will sell as it comes. That's quite a good feature, to be honest. So yeah, so that was the auto sell. It basically just sold it by itself. This is actually amazing. This is the first time I've used that feature. I'm just gonna let that run, and we're gonna go back to taking a short break. Actually, what you might want to do when you have the money for it is just add a quick go to ranch and add a ranch house, and also another feed mill when you get a chance, or when you have the money for it. I think should be okay right now, to be honest. I'm just gonna add one more feed mill, and that'll just kind of help speed up things. We've got the auto sell on. We're just waiting for these farmers to load up the trough with the feed, and we keep doing that until we can build our first sheep pen. Now, the sheep pen is located at the ranch, and we don't have enough money for it at the moment. That's why it's not allowing me to see it. But this used to be 40,000 for some of you that don't know. There have been some changes this week, or this season even. And one of those changes is basically some stuff are cheaper, some stuff are more expensive. My strategy is usually with the sheep pen to create wool and wool yarn, and for that strategy, I guess for the minute, for the startup at least, it's a lot easier because it only costs 20,000 for the first sheep pen. Now I can see that it's not auto selling for some reason. I'm just putting that back on now. Customize, auto sell, and that should sell right now. There we go. We're just going to leave that in play. I'm just going to leave you guys for a few seconds while that, for a few minutes even, while that just goes into play, and then we can have money for our first ever sheep pen. So we've got 24,000 now. Usually I'd wait a bit longer because we needed 40,000. And just going to lay down our first sheep pen. Now, each sheep pen requires 5 passive water, and these small water towers, they give 3 each. So we're going to know there's going to be enough here. And pretty much any of these squares around here are going to receive enough water for the 5 passive water, so that we don't have to keep so we don't have to get our farmers from here or ranch house to keep having to use water from the well to top up those sheep pens. So I'm just going to lay down one here, and then from here on we're going to start making the wool as soon as that's been built. So I'm just going to go through that auto custom sell one more time, just in case you missed it when the wool comes up, and how we can actually add that to our auto sell, because at that point we want to stop selling the feed, because the feed doesn't actually, if you look here, the feed doesn't really sell for much, but we just need it in the beginning, whereas the wool is going to sell for a lot more. And we obviously have to save as much gasoline and time as we can. So sometimes you can just build an extra build a house like we have here, but in this case it has a $20 per minute or £20 per minute cost, so we're not going to do that right now. We don't really need it right now. We're not doing big operations or big building operations, so we're just going to ignore that for a minute. So this is the builder, brings in. Also, by the way guys, so when you have pavements going to, or dirt roads going to the areas that you need people to move around to, they walk a lot quicker. You're going to see that right now. As this builder steps onto the dirt road, you're going to find that they walk a lot faster. That's something to bear in mind when you're laying out your town. So you can see, yeah, see? She's walking a lot faster than previous. There goes our auto cell. Excellent stuff. Go. Building is pending on the sheep pen. The wood has been fulfilled. So what I'm going to want to do is actually turn off the sale of the feed. So we don't want to sell any more feed because we need that for our sheep pens. And just kind of wait for the appropriate amount of wool to be created and what the farmer will do. So they're doing what they usually do, put the feed from the mill into the trough, as you can see there, and then the sheep go and eat it. And once you've got 8 feed, 1 wood and 5 water, should start the process to making wool. Now one good thing about these lumberjacks is wherever wood is needed, they usually take it there. So if your lumberjack's just doing what they're doing, they would be fulfilling the 1 wood as well. So the farmhouse operator doesn't have to do that. And then the wool, ultimately, once this 50 seconds is done, is going to be stored here in the storehouse, which you'll see in a second. So also what you'll notice, guys, is when your operators don't have anywhere to put stuff, they'll kind of just throw it on the ground and it'll go to waste. So you want to make sure you have the right amount of storage and the appropriate level of efficiency and characters for your stage of town. And there we have the wall. That's the first wall. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to try and set up that auto cell for the wall now that it's in the inventory. So we're going to add item, and we don't need to keep anything at the moment. We can just leave that at 0 because we just want to sell the maximum amount. And there we have it. It should auto sell every time you hit 10 wool. Guys, another thing I want to quickly just talk about is the layout of your town. It's kind of important to think of this from the beginning. As you're starting your town, you don't really want to, for example, if I put this operation too close to here where that pond was earlier, you'll find that very shortly after I'm going to need to remove these, and in the beginning I won't have enough money, 20k, 40k to remove these. So the best way is to really think about the way that you want to lay out your town, and obviously at the end of this you're going to see the overall layout of my town, or the closest thing to the end. And that is kind of you know, from my experience of building this quite a few times, and you know, just leave areas and understand the mechanics of the game. I'll explain later your tree farms and stuff and how that can be affected by big buildings surrounding it and the ways to avoid that. So kind of my farm is going to go around here because it's an isolated area. It's not near any salt water because I don't have any water on the sides of my town. And I'm going to avoid putting big buildings around it, and we'll get onto that a bit later on. So for now, we're just going to let the sheep pen do what it needs to do and slowly sell off that wool. Be right back. So as you can see, guys, the wool, we've got 9 wool, so the auto cell should kick in a second. As soon as that last set of wool gets made. Sheep takes 2 feed at a time, which I just noticed. Also good to know. And we're just going to wait for that first cell, because then I'm going to talk to you guys about wood. Really important topic, really important subject. And yeah, once this bit of wool is made, this last bit, then we can go into that. So last sheep's gone in, it should start producing now. There we go. And you notice that my lumberjack, I mean, he just keeps throwing the wood on the floors because I don't have enough space. But as soon as we sell, actually we can start the process now. So what I'm going to do is actually build a wood shed, but I'm going to build it around here. Pond, 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 pond. So wait, pond, 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 road. I'm gonna build it over here. I know that seems weird, but you'll see later on why it's important that I build the wood shed over here. So we're just gonna build a quick wood shed, go to farm. It's all the way down here. Cost 5,000 town bucks. Now I was able to do this even though I'm running low here because I know that this is about to get made. There we have her taking it over, and it should auto sell as soon as that last one hits. Now you can see until now I only earned 100 stars from selling the feed, but you get a lot more stars for selling 10 wool than you do for 10 feed. So as soon as that comes in, you'll be able to see those results. There we go. So gives about 280. So each wool cell gives 280 town stars, and just under 40,000 or 37,500, which is good news because that means we can build our next sheep pen. That's exactly what we're going to do. And then hopefully that can come in faster. So what was happening is a lot of this wood was going to waste, but now hopefully with this new wood shed here, that won't be the case. I'm going to delete some of these later on if I wanted to do so. In fact, what I might do is start by building the pond. Build the ponds. I'm going to put up my first pond. These used to be 20,000, now they're only 10, which is great news. And temporarily, what I will need to do, actually let's remove this for a second, just because we don't want our builder distracted by taking water to the pond. It needs 10 water for the initial build. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wait for this to be built and then actually rebuild it. Also, anytime you cancel building before it's made, you get your exact money back. So no worries there. So we can see that's been built, and then we're going to start our pond here in this little corner. Start the pond, lay down the pond. Now I have 3 water towers here, 3 NFTs. That gives passive water, which can also be used in this building process to fulfill this 0 out of 10 water. So we're going to wait for this first bucket of water, because each of these gives 3 direct. So that's 9, and we need 1 more 10. And then after that, we're not going to need it because there's already a pond here. So the subsequent ponds that I make are already going to get that 1 extra from here, and so on. Because basically my tree forest or tree farm is going to kind of run along here, down here. It's going to occupy this space here. And while that's happening, I'm just going to have a quick look at the cost for the oil pumps and power plants, nuclear power plant 250 used to be 100,000. Refinery still relatively cheap. Okay, so that's not too bad. The basics of the gasoline production is okay. So we just kind of have to wait for a lot more money to get the power plant in. Usually that was 100,000. And fabric plants used to be 250,000, which we're going to need later on, but that's not an issue. So that first water is in, and we're just going to have to build a temporary road here. And here. Here. I'm gonna build those. I'm gonna take up these water towers just quickly and then relay them next to the water tower. To let that build and then return them back up. So that's a quick handy trick. That's the good thing about NFTs. You can just place them and replace them with no extra cost. And that's exactly what we've done there. And we have our first pond. So we're going to need one here, 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 and here, kind of in a star shape. And again, it's just kind of a waiting game to let that auto cell trigger. And we know the 5 waters being fulfilled. The wood's coming in nicely. Trees, so no issues there. And yeah, feeds coming through. You can just let that run for a moment. I'm going to keep doing that and replicating the sheep pens until we have a good 5, 6, 7 sheep pens. So for every sale we make of 10 wool, we're going to lay down 1 more new sheep pen and 1 more pond. I'm going to keep going, and that's going to be the basis of our town. So that's been sold as well. Another 10. Got 41,000 town bucks. Just gonna start thinking about kind of, you know, what we're gonna do with this space here, and instead of just placing these in weird positions, we're gonna make sure that we kind of, you know, have a plan for that from the beginning. So I'm gonna build a road here. I'm gonna build a road here. That's eventually gonna interconnect. Let that create. Now we're gonna have to build 1 more ranch house. So I tend to put 1 ranch house per sheep pen, and I'm about to add another sheep pen. So let's just add that as well and just wait for the builder. And now maybe we can add 1 more. Actually, we'll leave that out just because we're gonna need 1 more pond as well. We're gonna hold off on the additional builder and just let that kind of run through by itself. And then what we're also going to do is very soon add another woodshed over here. While that's happening, just gonna build this pond as well. We're gonna put a pond here like we did before. Very simply return these NFTs to the Gala inventory and replace them in and around this so that it can receive adequate water. Okay, so this first pond is not reaching it. That's absolutely fine. We'll hold that off again until the sheep pen is made. Let's put these back. Just need 2 of them, I think. Should be enough. Yeah, just need 2 of those. So if you see this branch worker has come all the way down here for wood. Kind of want to get rid of those inefficiencies from early. That's why as soon as we get an opportunity, we're going to move this woodshed and make sure they're all here in the same place. Got one more wood over there. And they've just gone to the same one. Now she's going to have to come back out with it. And I think she's going to go back down to here. It's really important just to analyze, you know, what they're doing in your town, and make sure that everything is going efficiently. And, you know, different terrains, different types of maps, different plots are going to have different efficiencies. Also, the way you build is going to be completely important and imperative to the rate of efficiency. Build that. We can see the builders coming through with that last pail of water that we need. Pick these back up. And when that last pail comes in, should be good to go. And we've got that built. Get this back as soon as we can. You can see that the rate of produce for the wool is getting a lot quicker. And ultimately that's what we want to do. We want to make it as quick as we can make it. So guys, we're back. As you see, the process has just been repeating itself. Every time we got 10 wool, sell, create a sheep pen, try and build out this these ponds here. This is the kind of the formation, and I was just testing to make sure all of it gets the water they need, and build wood sheds along the way. So what we're going to do now is, so the reason we're going to need to build a tree farm is because once you start building your buildings around all these spaces, the shade that it gives to the trees makes the trees replenish a lot slower, often going up to 1 hour to actually renew the tree itself. So we're going to need a lot of wood soon, especially when we start making stuff like wool yarn and oil and these kind of things, and pavements for the different types of roads we need. So what we're going to need to do is try and get a more steady and more quick source of trees. So what you're going to do is, you've got your 4 ponds set up, and you just place the tree farms inside here like this. And then ultimately what that's going to do, actually let's just put this up first. So just making sure that they will receive enough water. So ultimately what we're going to do is we actually need to destroy these because we want the space. We need maximum space later on, especially when you have a huge empire going on, like I'm going to show you both in this video and upcoming videos. And you're going to need that space. So these trees are going to need to go. And what we also do is we just kind of continue to build on the system that we have here. So the ponds, here we go, build another pond, and also continue to build out our sheep pens. Now I'm just going to build one over here. Hopefully that should receive enough water. Actually, let's just cancel this and build it on this side. I'm going to need that space later on. Let's build it out here. Hopefully that should still receive the 5 water that it needs. And this is slowly going to be building. We're not going to build another wood shed. We don't have the money for it. And we also don't have the money at this second for a ranch house. Now I like things to be a bit symmetrical. You might have noticed, but you'll definitely find that out later. What we do want though when we get a chance is we're going to add in a quick feed mill while all of this is going on, just to kind of speed up that process. And let me just add a small road here. We can pick these up. And let that last pond create itself. Just throw that back in. So I guess the main idea is going to be do one of two things, because we're going to continue this until we do one of two things. The first thing is either we have 10 sheep pens, which means that we're going to make it when we're going to make the wool at a rate of 10 per cycle, or when this goes down, or our gasoline goes down to about 5 or 6 or 7, and that's when we're going to start making the petrol. Now it can be a bit lower, but just for cushion, just going to keep it at 5 and 6 and 7, because once that's done, if you don't have your setup for gasoline production, you're going to have no way of actually making gasoline for the next sale to make money. And as you know, your bucks or dollars per minute is going down slowly. So once that runs out and you have no gasoline, effectively your town is obsolete and you need to delete it and restart, which you don't want to do. Where we're not having to play hours and hours on the game to collect the daily reward, and it might not even just be about the daily reward. I mean, the game's super fun as well at the same time. So let's get straight into this. So what we done yesterday, just a quick recap, is we started off with the trowels and the feed mills. We've got the wheat stand as an NFT, the epic wheat stand, and what that essentially does is provides wheat passively to these feed mills. Feed mills then prepare the feed, and the feed goes into the trowel. And then what we were doing is we were selling that off slowly, 10 at a time, using the auto sell function, which I'm just gonna put up here. So just customizing that quickly. Let's keep the auto sell back on for the wall. I think it's gonna auto sell it right now. Actually, no, sorry. I've only got 3. I thought I had 19. And yeah, so that's what we've done so far. We've built a little tree farm here as well, just to make sure, you know, a lot of these things require you know, the tree farm to actually the wood, sorry, which you're gonna need a tree farm for. I'm gonna put this back into my inventory and also pick up some more of these NFTs over here. There we go. Just picked up the NFTs because you don't need them at the moment. I'm gonna pick these up as well. Now, right, so we want to make this sheep operation a bit bigger. You know, we've got a good amount of cash flow. So the first thing we're gonna do is quickly pop in another sheep pen. So we're gonna go to ranch, pop in a sheep pen, and then we're gonna do the same thing for this corner here. And what we want to slowly do is build up our wood storage capabilities, because it's going to be really important later on. And we're going for these wood sheds, and the reason that the wood sheds are specifically placed over here is because they don't provide any shade to these tree farms. Now if they did, that would be a huge issue. We're going to add some lumberjacks while we're here. That is going to increase our cost, but we can put them in anyway. We have the money for it. And what we're also going to do is add in a few ranch workers, just because I think, so my rule of thumb basically is usually 1 per sheep pen. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sheep pens. I don't have enough ranch workers. And for them to actually be efficient, we're going to make sure that we have at least 1 per sheep pen. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need a few more. And what I'm going to do is kind of slowly start to move the operation to this side. So when I build more sheep pens, they're going to be effectively over here for 2 more slots. So I'm gonna run a short road across. Actually, what I might do, yeah, let me put in these feeds. I'm gonna go to ranch, put in the feed, ranch, put in another feed, let that build. Gonna get that deleted soon, and I'm gonna need a whole row of feeds here, so I'm just gonna actually remove this. The mistake building that there, because we're gonna have feed across up to here, and then our road is gonna kind of start from here onwards. So as soon as that gets built, sorry, as soon as that sells, the wall in the storehouse, as soon as that sells off, then I'm gonna go straight into replacing that with pavement. Actually, we don't need to replace it with pavement because I won't be needing it. I'm gonna remove this quickly. What we do is we start our ranch house. Ranch house is over here, right next to where the actual operations are. What I might want to do is build out a pond here, maybe one here, or a pond here, here, I believe, would be the best location. Yeah, so we're going to build a pond there and there. As soon as we get the money to do it, we've got nine up. One more, we can get that sell through. While we have the opportunity, let's just see what the cost of an actual storehouse is. I know some of this stuff has changed. The cost for a storehouse, 15,000. Okay, we can keep that there for now. Let's not be too quick with that. How you build this is really going to be important. So you just want to make sure that you kind of do it you do it correct from the beginning, so you don't have to sort of go back on anything later on. We're going to get these storehouses up over here. Hopefully that'll build out soon. And waiting for this to build, maybe add in a builder or two. So one thing to know about the builders, the worker house or the builder house, actually, they don't need a road in front of them, which is quite useful because you can kind of slip them into the corners of your town. You know, areas where you can't actually place anything else because you need a road. So I'm going to build 2 more builders there. Now you notice that our cost per minute has gone up. Our cost per minute, sorry, has gone up to 370. And yeah, as you grow your town, you're going to find that by the end of it, you might be at like 3,000, 4,000 per minute, but that'll be okay because by that stage, you should have a fully functional, fully funded town. So for the time being, it's basically just a waiting game. Keep letting it sell, build on the sheep pens. We're going to kind of build out to about here and here. Might need to remove that at some stage. What I'll do is I'll build this first. So get that water in. Fairly simple. Already got. Oh. So guys, just to explain briefly what happened there, I noticed that this sheep pen wasn't receiving enough water. If you see it needs 5 water, it was only receiving 4, so I had to build an additional pond here, as it gives passive 3, so 1, 2, 3, and it just gave that extra water. And what I found out is, or what I calculated is that if this wasn't receiving enough water, then this definitely won't be receiving enough water. So kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. So we're back in, and we have a lot more money right now. Got 163,000 pound bucks. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this out, and we're also going to remove this. Each of them cost $40,000 to remove. Now the first thing we need to do and build here is going to be 1 more feed mill, and that's going to be the last of the feed mills, and a sheep pen here that was pending. Now one other thing I do like to do is just kind of frame the town correctly and you know, complete those roads in and out. So we're gonna start by building the road down here. That's gonna give us availability to build right next to it, and luckily the sheep pen is not actually affected by tall buildings. So we're gonna build this out. Not really sure what we're gonna put there yet, but this means we've got this space to build in, we've got this space to build in. Gonna build out let this finish, and then we're just gonna rotate it just to make things symmetrical. You know, I like symmetry. I believe, you know, town is a representative of your personal identity. So if you're building it, you know, all over the place, then not great, is it? So I'm gonna rotate this around and continue these roads just up to here, get that connection in. And now basically on kind of the left side of the town, you know, there's access, things are moving a lot faster. It's got a sheep pen built out. Now some people, I mean, yeah, some people do like to put an additional trail, some of the people that I'm speaking to, but I just stick with the 2 trials for now. If it does become a problem, I'll know about it, and I'll see, you know, whether this is filling up and it's not being eaten too quickly, or if the distance is too far. But right now I think we should be okay. So that's 5 water, 5, you know, all of the sheep pens, just make sure everything is receiving, all the sheep pens are receiving adequate water. These tree farms, they haven't been affected by anything at the moment. I'm gonna move this out for a second anyway, to get a good view. Okay, so we've got the 83,000. What we'll do is we'll just remove these 2 as well. Actually, what we'll do, remove this. That's kind of been in the way. Replace that with a ranch house. Now, got 4 more spots here. Sheep pens, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we do have 17 sheep pens, and 8, 9, 10. So yeah, we'll build out those last few ranch houses. Doesn't cost too much, and in terms of the minute cost, you know, we get that back with the speed in which that these guys are going to be collecting that wool and making the wool happen. One thing to bear in mind, we're at 37,000. We've got only 6 gasoline left. So what I'm going to do is actually start to build out the basics of the gasoline for you guys. Now we'll use an NFT, but like I said, in a future video, there I will have a non-NFT town build, including the gasoline. So, you know, for those of you that don't have the, you know, the adequate NFTs, then, you know, it's still fun and enjoyable, and you can still do exactly the same thing. It just takes slightly longer. So let's kind of figure out. So one thing to bear in mind, the way that I do it is, I make wool yarn, which means you're gonna need a fabric plant soon after, and to make the fabric plant, or for the fabric plant to make the wool yarn, it needs some energy, and also lumber yards to make lumber, they're going to need energy. So what we tend to do is place the refinery in a position where actually later we're going to be able to kind of build out this build out the fabric plant and lumber yards next to it. So let's start off with a water pump. Must place near a pond or bridgeway. Okay, absolutely fine. We're gonna need to build a pond first. Build up the pond here. And you're gonna see it's gonna need some water. Let's let the first one get in there. And then I noticed she's coming for water, which means one of these sheep pens is not receiving adequate water, and there we go. Right, what we're gonna do temporarily move this back. Just add a pond in here instead. And wait for 2 more waters to be filled. Yeah, when 2 more waters are filled there, then we'll continue what we are going to do. Just waiting for that builder to bring in that last pail of water. On and recreate our road. Go. Now, one other thing we'll do quickly whilst this has just been solved. I'm going to remove the storehouse and place it down here for the time being. I'm thinking longer term might be worth putting it down here. Great, now we're going to wait for this first pail of water and then hopefully we can build that pond. Whilst the builder is doing that first pail, we'll start prepping these, get it in the right position. There we go. Excellent. Now, we're going to need to put in our... delete this. Put in our water pump. 3 oak wood. Okay, well this is new. 3 oak wood. Right, so to get oak wood, we're gonna need oak wood tree farm. What I'll do is just delete one of these. Build an oak tree farm in place of this. 2 minutes. Okay, that shouldn't be too bad. Nice and easy. We're gonna need 3 of those. what might be worth doing is building out some more wood sheds. Down here. Just because that wood is kind of filling up quite quickly. So this can take us about 6 minutes, I guess, to get 3 of those going. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to build this until this is actually ready. Just quickly have a look at some of the other stuff we need just to see what we're going to need. 10 wood for the refinery, nice and easy. Let's get that going. Now the reason we're building an extra water pump is because you're going to see to make petroleum, what we're going to have is a requirement to actually to have water barrels, and the water pump passively allows that to happen. We're going to lay down the refinery, super important. And like I said, we're not going to let this happen until, see, that's filling up quite quickly. We're going to have to end up emptying it, which is not nice. So I'm going to build 2 more wood sheds while we're here. And every time this is ready, we're just going to allow that to happen. So we're just going to fast forward here. So as soon as this gets ready, I'm going to let this open up, let the construction happen, just so that that oak wood can have somewhere to go. Otherwise they're going to throw it on the floor, which we definitely don't want. And actually what I just realized is I'm in a set, I've got, you know, a good supply of wood. So I'll actually do is just build oak tree farms to let that kind of happen quicker. You can see the first one's coming in now. There we go, and I'm hoping this chap here is going to go and cut that up. Nope. Not good at all. Maybe him. Hopefully. Beautiful. There he is. That oak wood. And I think he might be taking it straight to site. Kind of eliminates the need for this, but just to be safe, you know, we don't want to be sitting here wasting time. I'm under the impression that you just threw that on the floor. Right, I think he threw that on the floor because there was no storage at the time. Just fine. We're going to do what we wanted to do originally, which is as soon as this is ready, we just open up one of these, which is 1 minute and 30 seconds. Also, there's going to be a 20-second gap between those. Our refinery's built. That's excellent news. We're kind of cutting it short here. You might not want to do this, but I'm just doing this because I know I have the NFTs in the back pocket. You might have wanted to start doing this instead of having a full operation going on. You would have started doing this a lot earlier when you've got like 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 gasoline, just to be safe. and let that one build. You notice this has gone a bit more green around it, and this is because the refinery tends to create dirt, and essentially that gives passive dirt to the surroundings. Now these are ready, you can see. I'll quickly open this up, hoping that these two chaps are going to go straight there with the oak wood. And if I need to, I'll just open up that second one. So we look okay for now. 2 wood, there's going to be space for that. And then hopefully also this. There we go, the oak wood is ready. Excellent news. And I see her fetching a pail of water. Oh, that's because our NFTs, or water towers even, have not been replaced. And I'm just going to open that up just while he's about to go, just to make sure he gets it in there. Just to stockpile some of this oak wood, because I know we're going to need it later. What I'm going to do is turn these into oak tree farms as well, so we can slow down some of that wood production and speed up the other production, oak wood production. That will also give us a good balance for the storage. So, what do we need for the refinery? So I guess the first things first is we're gonna need petroleum. That's the first part. And then we're gonna need petroleum to actually make gasoline, as you can see here. So 2 crude oil, 1 water drum, and 2 energy. Now, for the energy in my case, I will show you guys how to do this without NFTs later, but for the energy for this moment, I'm going to use 2 items. I've got a solar panel here and I have a Tesla coil, so that will fulfill the 2 energy requirement. For the water drum, what you usually need to do is build a water facility here, but we're not going to do that. We are going to use this water pump, and as you can see, water drum is now fulfilled. And then we have the crude oil requirement, so we're going to put a haunted porch right next to it. And that, so basically, if you don't know, this NFT gives you passive crude oil, and it also crafts pumpkins for pumpkin pies, also going to be in a future video. So I'm going to stop the pumpkin pie for the moment because it takes up storage space. And we can see that we have a full-blown petroleum and gasoline operation going on through this, this fancy setup here. This is just temporary, this is just to get things going. And we're just going to let this run for a bit, and hopefully we can go on to actually building this power plant, because the energy requirement for gasoline is going to be 6 energy, so even these NFTs basically don't cut it. And this is the Tesla coil also produces batteries, so we're going to build a little storage house on this corner here and just allow those batteries to pile up. A warehouse, sorry, here we go, a warehouse. So what will happen is, if you have a warehouse and a factory worker, house, then essentially this worker house is going to go collect those batteries, so when we do need it for the gasoline, then we have that ready. And the alternative again to those NFTs for electricity or these energy batteries is going to be a wind turbine, which is only £2,500 so shouldn't be too hard. So guys, we've got about 10 petroleum here. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch. So we're going to stop making petroleum and start making gasoline, and hopefully that should pile up. Now you notice that it requires 1 petroleum, which it's going to get, 2 water drums, and 2 out of 6 energy. So what we're going to need to do is actually build, let's take this out and build another water pump right next to it here. And then put the NFT back on the other side, even though we don't actually need it for we're going to keep it on petroleum actually, just until we get that water pump built. And then we're going to switch it back as soon as the water pump is built, so we can fulfill the 2 water drum. And then the energy is also going to come from here. So guys, just a quick update on what's going on. Just been waiting to get enough money. We're on 370,000 to be able to build our first power plant. What we're going to see is that it requires a this power plant here. It's going to require 10 electricity, 10 of these, lumber, and it needs to be near a paved road and a water pump. So first thing we're going to do is try and get that paved road going. We're going to build this road, dirt road here, and then we're just going to upgrade that. And for the upgrade, we do need lumber. So one of the first things I'm going to do here is actually right in front of the power plant, I will be building the lumber yard. So let's just go over to industrial lumber mill, sorry. So this is basically where the lumber is made. We're going to build that out so that we can start making some lumber when the time comes. And as soon as that's built, then we're going to upgrade this and add the power plant. And obviously that's also contingent on getting another 190,000, which is why I've restarted the gasoline production, and hopefully that'll come along. actually, yeah, to build the lumber yard, gonna have to be somewhat close to this water pump. So we're gonna build a quick road here, let that finish, and then rebuild that lumber yard over here. Lumber mill, sorry, this is a lumber yard, but the lumber mill to actually create lumber. So you can see they're going off to build that now. And the reason we're going to need this is because we need lumber to build the power plant, and we're also going to need some money. Actually, I thought it's 500,000, but it's 250,000. So we're going to be able to build that straight away as soon as that's ready. Just need the lumber for a paved road. So to upgrade this, we're going to need 1 lumber, 3 wood. So we're going to have to get this lumber mill going before we can build that. So sorry about that, guys. Just took a quick intermission. As you can see, we have enough money now. What we're gonna do we have enough lumber? We've got a few lumber pieces. Let's empty something just so that we can flush this out. Let's stop some of this production. Some of this oak production needs to stop. We have enough oak for the time being. Let's put out some more tree farms. Bring out some more tree farms over here just before we get straight into actually building the power plant. Set these, one more left. There we go. So we've emptied this out so that we can get some lumber in. That's making it at the moment. Gonna have to upgrade this, as I said before. That's gonna cost us 1 lumber. So I've noticed the feed is filling up slightly. It means we might want to add a trowel and decrease the feed instead. Gonna wait for this paved road to be built, and then we will get onto building this. Now, guys, just while we're today. I'm gonna collect that. That's gone through. I'm gonna remove some of these. Definitely don't need these. So as soon as that's built, what it'll do is it'll give passive electricity. Okay, we're gonna stop it there for now and hopefully continue some of this tomorrow. What we're gonna do is actually empty or flush. So this is when you flush items, you're basically not destroying the building, but you're flushing out the items inside the storage. So I've cleared that storage there, and then you can see we have less oak or wood oak. One thing we need to do right now is quickly make some petroleum, and we're going to need that for the gasoline, and also we kind of want to speed up this this production of lumber. So we're going to build one more. We're going to build one more. And there you have it, guys, our first power plant. Now you're going to notice for this to actually make any electricity, it requires 2 crude oil, 1 water drum. Now you already know that I have these NFTs here which give passive crude oil, so I'm just going to place this next to it over here, and then that should start to make electricity. What I can do is I can actually slow this one down, or we can just leave it, it doesn't really matter. So you would have seen that this is now receiving 5 out of 6 energy. So what we're going to do is we will take this solar panel away and actually add another power plant when we have the money to do so. Let me just put that back for a second. Actually, 2 out of 2 energy. I wonder if that will be the case. 1 out of 2 energy. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I think for me right now it's more important that this receives the maximum energy that it can. And we're just going to flush this out as well. We don't really need oak too much. Now, what I'll do is I'll start actually removing some of these so I can build out, you know, what my town is expected to look like. And get a few more lumberjack going. Can remove this, don't actually need it anymore. Now, I guess that's it for the video, guys. We're going to stop it there. What you've learned today is how to start your first town on Townstar, how to actually play Townstar, the basics of Townstar itself, and some gasoline production. Now, I'm going to be making a more detailed version of how to start that gasoline production, because you can see I've used a few NFTs in this version, and we're going to do that without the NFTs. If you guys get some time, make sure you subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a lot more information regarding crypto, blockchain space, and hope to see you guys then.